Hello, in this video I will show you how to build and install PL/Java. PL/Java allows you to run Java code inside PostgreSQL. This is really great because it allows you to write stored procedures, triggers, and functions in Java, and those can utilize all of the power that Java has to offer, including all of the open source libraries that are available. So the home page can be found in the GitHub pages. I will post the URL in the description, and the installation information is also there. So we will practically just follow the instructions here. There are some prerequisites which I've installed already, and let's go over those first. So I will open the MinGW64 shell, and I've already installed the MinGW with the G++ compiler and linker and everything. There is a separate video for that. I will link to it. So let's go ahead and make sure that we have all the prerequisites. We will run G++ version. We see that it's installed. We will make sure that javac is installed and on the path. pgconfig installed and on the path. Now it's important with pgconfig to make sure that the include dir server folder, which on this installation is here, that it includes the .h header files. So as you can see here, all those .h files provide an interface which the PL/Java C libraries use. And we will make sure that we have Maven installed, and it is. So now that we have all the prerequisite installed, we will go ahead and clone the Git repository of PL/Java. The address can be found here, so I can just copy it, and I can do something like git clone, post the address, and I will clone it into a subdirectory named PL/Java. And we can see here that this directory was just created and it contains all of the source code. So now that we cloned the Git repository locally, I will switch to that folder and I will check out a specific branch that I want to build. So to do that, we'll just do git checkout, and in this case it will be release 1.5 stable. Now that we're in the correct branch, all that's left to do is follow the instructions here and run the Maven command, Maven clean install. Now this process takes a few minutes. If this is the first time you're downloading the dependencies, then it takes longer. The important thing to note at the end of the Maven clean install is that the projects were successfully built. So you want to see all of those success messages here. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that Maven clean install does not install the program. It does not install PL/Java into PostgreSQL. The install command in Maven is locally to the Maven software, and it just means for Maven that it will be available, this project will be available for other projects that will use Maven. So now what we want to do is install it into PostgreSQL. So again, the instructions are very clear on the website. And what we want to do here is call java-jar on the jar that was built inside the PL/Java packaging/target that was built by Maven. So in this case, this will be the path. So running the java jar command on the jar that was built and packaged by Maven simply extracts some files into the PostgreSQL installation folder. In my case here, this is the directory for PostgreSQL, and you can see the files that were installed. So now we want to connect to PostgreSQL with PSQL and run create extension. So let's fire up PostgreSQL and let's connect with pSQL. And now we'll write, actually before we create the extension, let's run /dx to see what extensions are installed. We can see that no extensions are installed. So now let's run create extension PL/Java, and that tells us that it was completed without error. And what we want to do next is to make sure that PostgreSQL, or rather the PL/Java extension, knows where the JVM is installed. So in my case here, I'm running on Windows, as you can see. The JVM is installed at here, sig/apps/java jre8 bin server, and this is the jvm.dll library that I'm using. So what we want to do is set the setting in PostgreSQL pljava.libjvm_location to that path. Let's do that. Set, that's great. And the next thing we want to do is to test our installation. So the best thing to do would be in this case to install the examples that come with PL/Java and run one of them. So again, all of the instructions are very clear. The only thing you need to do is pretty much use the paths, the correct paths in your system. In this case, we will run the command select sqlj.install jar with the full URL to the PL/Java examples, which were actually installed here, as you can see. So let's run this. Great. And what we want to do is set a class path variable that tells PL/Java that Java test is referring to those examples. Let's call the get command, the get function for the same thing to make sure that it's correct. Yes, we can see examples from get class path Java test. That's good. Okay, so now we're ready to test out the examples. Let's try to run some of the examples and see if we can get the Java code to run within PostgreSQL. So one of the most basic examples can be found here. So let's try to run this. Select java test.java_add1, and the argument we pass is 3. So it adds 1 to 3 and it returns 4, which is what we expect. Seems very simple, but keep in mind it came from Java, so as far as I'm concerned, this is very exciting. The nice thing is that if you look at the source code, then under the PL/Java examples project, in the resources/deployment directory, there's a file called examples.ddr. And this is a definition file that maps the PostgreSQL functions to the Java code. So for example, you can find here the functions that you can call from PostgreSQL. And what they map to in the Java code. So for example, if we'll run this command, this function, select javatest.java_get timestamp, then we can see timestamp that came from Java. Or let's try one more, system property. I like that one. So if we do select javatest.java get system property, and well, let's pass os.name, which is one of the properties in the Java system. You can see that Java returns Windows 7, which is the correct value for os.name in my machine. So this is really great and very exciting, because there are so many possibilities that are open by this, and I hope that you like that video.